Okay, YouTube, let's review King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby. Again, I just finished a book. Um, what this was a very change of pace of what I've been reading. Fantasy, sci-fi. This is a crime thriller. Boom. Right? I'll give a little synopsis of what's it about before I get into spoilers. So if you want to read this book, I will try to sell it. I think this is a good change in pace if you're reading big series. You want some in between series. It's not a very long book, and I think it's. Well, I'm gonna give my rating right now. I'm gonna rate it a 4.5 out of 5. Yes, I'm not gonna give a 5-star to this book. Now, why? I don't think I fell in love with any of the characters. Even the main character, I was kind of like, bro. At some points, I was like, yeah. But okay, let me give a synopsis about this. So this follows a family, right? We got a mom, we got a dad, we got 2 brothers and a sister. The father owns a cremation business, right? And the mother disappeared 20 years ago. So it's kind of like that happens as soon as you get into the book. So the mother disappeared 20 years ago, and then the book opens up with the father being run off the road by, I don't know, it's a mystery, you gotta find out. He gets run off the road and he's put in a coma. So the big brother comes back into town to help out with the cremation business and whatnot, and he's a finance guy. He moved away, he's a finance guy. He can make some money, but lo and behold, the younger brother has some, I guess, trouble with a gang, right? He has some problems with the gang, and the older brother is trying to fix it. Dun dun dun. That is the synopsis. He's trying to fix it. And I will say one more thing. The gang people that they get involved with, what makes this good about, like, what makes this story good is that the villains or the gang people are like, if you've ever seen Tuco from Breaking Bad, they're very unpredictable, and they're very like, any meeting with them or anything, you don't know how it's gonna go because they're so unpredictable. They're so just rash and just, keeps you on your toes because you might say the wrong thing, or you might even say something, just like in Tuco's scenario where that guy's like, just be careful if you know who you're working for. And then Tuco, does what he does to that guy just for saying that. It's like, those guys are like that. They are just like, what? Like, what? I thought I was saying something good or something, So it makes it very intense anytime the main character, Roman, who's the older brother, is meeting him. So I'm not going to do that, like, chronological telling of the story, because it's very, like, it's like a movie. It's like the dialogue and everything goes into it. But I want to jump into the ending, because the main plot points, right, of this story, there's like a underlying mystery because their mother disappeared. So we're going to get into spoils. Their mother disappeared 20 years ago, right? The dad's in the coma. So why is the dad in the coma? It's because the younger brother, Dante, who is a very, like, his archetype is a very flawed, tragic type. He feels so much that he drowns himself with drugs and alcohol because of everything. But he gets involved with the gang, right? And the gang is the one that pushes his father off the road into the coma. So he obviously feels so deeply of that, and he's just one of those type of people that, he'll cry if he steps on a bug when he was younger and stuff like that. Like, he feels. So he drowns himself with drugs and alcohol, and the older brother, Roman, is trying to fix this whole mess, but Dante's one of those, like, oh, I screwed up, I'm the screw up kind of guy, like, whatever, like, that's his flaws. But Roman's the more, like, I can fix this type of guy, that it's not always like his place to fix it, if that makes sense. But that's where we get into the gang part, and Roman is trying to fix it this whole time. but I feel like Dante could have helped out a lot more. And I think one of the main points of the book that I didn't really like was how much Dante was not helping. Like, it's your mess, bro. Can you help out a little bit? You know, like, Roman does help out, but geez, bro, it was starting to piss me off. And then the sister Nevaeh, her archetype is like, since their mother disappeared, she takes the place of the mother, and she just grinds and works super hard and pushes herself. For, I'm not saying no reason, but it's like, dang, like, ease up on yourself, bro. Like, come on. So it is interesting how S.A. Cosby deals with three people dealing with grief, mainly from their mother, because like the father is like a new thing. Like, they're obviously grieving him, but he's still in a coma. You know, he could come out, whatever. But the way he deals with three people dealing with grief differently is really good. It is really good. So, all right, let's jump into my quote. Then we're gonna jump into the ending, because I think the ending is insane. If he didn't pull off a good ending, this would have gotten like lower, maybe like 4 out of 5. But the ending was fitting. The ending was fitting. Okay. My quote is from page 303, and it says, "We all fall short of grace, but the beauty lives in the attempt." And I think that's a good quote. I think it's meaning, you know, we're not perfect, right? We're not perfect humans. The attempt is actually just living. Live your life. Try to be a good person, but we're not perfect. I like that quote a lot. I think it is referring to, like, I think this isn't a character saying that. It's like S.A. Cosby. And we're talking about Dante here. We're talking about the sad archetype where everything's his fault, you know, like, and he gets super focused and he feels that so much that it's like, sometimes it's like, come on, bro, like you got this, like, just stop wallowing in the mess up, and, you know, you can try to fix it. You can try to do better or whatever. So I think that's a good quote, because life is all about living. So it's like, just live, man. The attempt is literally just living. So, boom. That's my quote. I think that was good. All right, let's talk about the freaking ending, because, like I said, we're dealing with Tuco, and this guy's insane. His real name is Torrent, so Torrent and his brother Tranquil. They are insane, crazy people. They will feed you to their dogs. They will stab you. I don't even know if I can say this all on YouTube, but yeah, they'll just do whatever. If you, like, literally somebody laughed at them, and yeah, they did something to him. They laughed at him because he slipped on some blood that he was doing something to somebody else. So it's like, I don't know if I can even get into it on YouTube, but yeah, pretty gruesome book. This was more like scary in a weird sense than the Stephen King book. Like, this guy's S.A. Cosby is really good if you're looking for something to keep you intense, keep you like, what the hell is gonna happen? Like, what's going on? Okay, but anyways, the sister is sleeping. Let's get into the ending. The sister is sleeping with a cop because she really doesn't feel like this cop is like a dickhead, right? This cop is like one of those classic douchebag kind of guys. The sister doesn't feel like she's worthy of any other type of love than like bad men. Like, really, like, she's just like, that's all I'm good for anyways. Like, I'm just here to clean up my brother's mess, work at the cremation business, and grind that out and whatever. But yeah, as far as like a good person, she'll just tear that down anyways. So it's like, she just is cheating the cop is cheating on his wife with her, and she's like, she knows about it, she's okay, because she's just like, whatever, right? I think she's just in this haze ever since her mother disappeared. So, like I said, that's like a subplot. Like, we don't know what happened with her mother, and she's trying to figure that out the whole series. And then, so we're going to talk about the ending, we're going to talk about all that, what happened to her mother and stuff. What happened to her mother? I don't know if I liked it or if I'm just like, that makes sense. So what happened was, the youngest brother, Dante, when they were younger, 20 years ago, finds his mother cheating on their dad, okay? Because their dad is also just this, I'm grinding out the cremation business, I'm doing all that. He forgets to love his family and be present with his family. So his mother, finds another avenue and is doing it with a guy at the cremation business. And Dante, the younger brother, walks around the window because no one's answering the door, and like peers through the window, sees them, right? In the action, and then comes home crying because he's like, what? He's young. He's like, whoa, like what was going on? Like he knows it wasn't good, but he's like, what's going on, And then his older brother, Roman, the main character, is like, we're gonna go confront mom. So they go and confront their mom, and he's like, when they do, it's kind of like a fight, like a confrontation almost, because the mom's like, you don't need to be talking to me like that, like it's grown-up business, like you guys are just kids. And at this point, Roman is 16, so he's a little bigger, like whatever, he's a guy. And so he grabs his mom because she like slapped him, right? And he grabs her. I don't even know what he's doing. They're like tugging, fighting, not like punching, but like it's just like a confrontation. And she slips after he lets him go and cracks her head on a table. And then they cremate her because they're in the cremation business. And that's what like the dad does. Like they call their dad. And then the dad's pretty much like, you boys and me are gonna have to take this secret to our grave. Like Nevaeh, the younger sister, can't even know. She can't even know. And I think that begs a question, and she doesn't know. She doesn't find out until the very end that it's like she thinks her mom's missing this entire time. She's trying to, that's her subplot. She's trying to find what happened to her mom this entire time. She's not in with the gang and anything. Roman and Dante keep that also from her, of like what's going on and stuff. So it's like, it begs a question sometimes. It's like, is telling the truth, when does somebody deserve the truth, Because they're not telling her about the gang stuff, and it's putting her life at risk as well. And also, the mom, they know what happened. They're now older, 20 years older. When does somebody deserve the truth? And is it just, Roman, honestly, at some point, just him protecting himself? Because he knows what happened, and it's not his fault. It is an accident, but it's like, when does somebody deserve the truth? Let me know in the comments below. That's a good discussion to have. Stupid Nat. But yeah, you guys should let me know in the comments, when does somebody deserve the truth, and at what point is it just you not wanting to tell the truth because it could lead to more than the lie you've already said, like, oh, she's missing. So it's like, yeah, I think at some point, I believe that people deserve the truth, at some point. Maybe, not when she's 10 or 11 when that happened, but yeah, when she's older, hey, stop, wondering and pondering about what mom, this is what happened. She ends up finding out, she finds the mom's ashes, right, in the old cookie jar that they used to have when their mom was alive and there and present. And she finds it, and she thinks it's her dad that just like killed her because she was cheating, right? Because like I said, that's Nevaeh's like plot point. She's like trying to figure out what happened to her mom. So it's like, she finds out, she knows that her mom was cheating. And so that's kind of like the talk of the town, right? The dad killed the mom because he found out she was cheating. And she ends up believing that because like she doesn't know the truth. And so she goes and kills her dad in the coma. She gives him aspirin while he's on blood thinners, and it makes him have a brain aneurysm. Yikes. And then Roman deals with the cop, he deals with the cop and the gang. So the cop that Nevaeh was cheating on with offers him like a deal if he could set up Torrent and Tranquil, the gang members, the leaders of the gang, if he can set them up, wear wire and all that. But then when they're at the confrontation where Roman is gonna trap them with legalities and get them in prison. The cop reveals that he's swapped up and he's actually with Torrent and Tranquil because they offered him a better deal, like money-wise. But Roman had another plan in action already that the reader doesn't know about. And it's, he turned Tranquil's and Torrent's guys against him because how like crazy they are, right? He was slowly turning the men against them by like making them money, and you know, because he's a finance guy, that's his whole thing. He was making the gang money, Torrent and Tranquil money. That was his role in the gang anyways. So on the side, he was helping out the lower ranking members make more money than Tranquil and Torrent were ever giving them. So, you know, they're all like pointing their gun at Roman, and then all of a sudden they turn around and point their guns at Torrent and Tranquil. Boom. Gotcha. And then they kill the cop too, which, if you've read the book, I know it's like, well, like, why are you happy about that? He was a douchebag, bro. Like, seriously. But that was the book. That all happens in like 15 pages. So like when I was like having 20 pages left, I'm like, bro, what is even gonna happen? And I have to talk about one more thing. Dante, the tragic character archetype, he gets himself killed. This whole book is about Roman trying to save Dante from his mistake with the gang. So he gets involved with the gang, makes the gang money, and I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. But Dante gets himself killed because, I didn't mention this before, but they had, to get their hands dirty in the beginning of the book, they had, the like Torrent and Tranquil had made Dante and Roman kill people because they wanted proof that you're gonna get your hands dirty. And one of the people was Cassidy, a girl named Cassidy, and that's Dante's like lover, right? And it wasn't like because they knew that, but it was just like she was affiliated with somebody else, and they brought her in and her boyfriend. Yeah, I know. Dante was cheating with Cassidy, but anyways, they're lovers, so just get that in your mind. And so they don't end up killing Cassidy. They save her, but that kind of leaves an open gap in their whole plan that, like, if Torrent and Tranquil ever see Cassidy alive, right, they're gonna be like, oh, you didn't do your job, little bro, like, we're gonna kill you because we're crazy. And so that's like a plot point with Dante's character, is that like he's got to keep Cassidy out of town. Well, she comes back and she gets herself killed because literally the gang is crazy. But what you don't really know from Dante's point of view is that it was actually Roman's call to kill Cassidy, because he finds out she's in town, right? Dante doesn't tell Roman. Then Roman sees her driving and he's like, what the hell? Like, this is gonna get everyone killed. If they find out, like, they'll kill the sister, Nevaeh, they'll kill everybody, the dad, everybody. So Roman's like, he basically puts a hit out on her, and it works. But then at the end of the book, Dante, and he blames that hit on a rival crew. So he's not blaming it on the crew he's working for, the Black Baron boys. He's blaming it on the Ghost Town crew. And so Dante, at the end of the book, wants his revenge, wants his get back. And remember, he's like a sad archetype. He almost doesn't care if he dies. If he dies, his thoughts would probably be like, thank God, something like that. Like, that's not actually in the book, but like, that's his type of character. And so he goes and picks like a death wish with the rival crew that killed Cassidy, quote unquote killed, even though it was Roman the entire time. Crazy. And yeah, gets himself killed. And then the end of the book, like I said, Nevaeh kills the dad because she thinks he was the one who killed the mom, or she thinks he was the one who killed the mom. And then Roman breaks it to her. He's like, yeah, it was actually me. And she's like, well, fuck, because I just did something pretty bad. And so she dips after that, and it's just Roman. After all this, the King of Ashes. Everything burns. Oh my god, this was a long review for such a short book, but it's good. Give it a little read. Oh yeah. I got my next book. This is gonna be insane. I'm insanely hyped. Dun. Yes, you know what it is. A trilogy. A grimdark fantasy trilogy. So I read The Godfather of Fantasy, The Lord of the Rings, and now we're gonna try grimdark. Boom. I'm so hyped for this that it's like I might be let down and you might see a 4-star review because I'm so hyped for this that it's like it better be good. It better be good. Let me know in the comments below. Get out of here. Bye.